Hey famous warrior, welcome back to our channel.
You are my forever love. You are my
So today we're going to be starting a series, if you call it, of 12 lessons that Ceaser and I have learned in 12 years of marriage, because this month we get to celebrate our 12th anniversary, wedding anniversary. So we thought it would be neat to share some lessons, go back down memory lane as we celebrate our month of love. A lot of people celebrate their month of love as February, but for us it's September because of our anniversary. September is also the month that Ceaser proposed to me. So that is our month of love, and we want to share our love and our lessons with you guys. So we hope that this video encourages you, inspires you, makes you laugh a little, and yeah, let's get into it. So to get us started, we're going to do 3 lessons that we want to share with you guys today. There are going to be communication, trust, and respect. And we're going to unpack those with some very embarrassing stories thrown in there. It's like I didn't get the memo. But yeah.
So these are lessons that we have learned, and so we are sharing our life lessons, so to say. So we are not the teachers, but we are just telling our story, hoping that maybe it might help somebody out there.
Yeah. So to get us started, why do you think communication is important in a marriage? Good communication is important in a marriage.
Ooh. That's communication is ish. I think it's been I know you hear people say, you need to learn how to communicate. You need to communicate in marriage. It's been hard for me.
You need to speak the same language.
You need to speak the same language. It's been harder for me past 12 years because of how I grew up.
Yeah.
Communication wasn't a thing, growing up. You communicated. I know there's various forms of communication, and we use the other form, not the speaking one, which is if you want to communicate about something that you're not happy with, show it that I'm not happy or something like that.
How do you show that you're not happy?
You just be nice to the person.
No, that you're not happy.
Oh, that you're not happy.
Yes.
Then you just walk around and they see.
Feet.
They see like
Bang
a baby.
Bang the cabinet.
So they
bang the
they
door.
know, and you don't talk to them. Yeah. That's how you show them. You don't talk to them that and then they'll know this person is not happy. Yeah. So for me, that really informed how what I knew about communication. So when I wasn't, I just didn't find it difficult to use my mouth when I want to communicate something, and also I think it's because I'm a peacemaker. So whenever there is heated conversations, I tend to think, oh, we are fighting, but you can have a heated conversation, as long as you're not throwing punches and stuff. But yeah, that's conversations our conversation are supposed to be, as long as you're not cussing each other out. Good communication is important because then you know where you are. You know where you are, you know where your partner is, what they're not happy with. I can't act on somebody just being quiet and not telling me what I've done wrong or what they like, what they don't like. So I think it's been helpful to know. It's easier for you, so you're able to say to a fault what you don't like.
But it wasn't always that way.
Yeah. But you're able to say, so I can be able to know, okay, Louise doesn't like this. She communicated here that the way I acted, this is what it made her feel. So when you have those things being communicated and talked about, then your relationship becomes better because now I can adjust. But if there's no communication at all, there won't be any adjustment.
Yeah.
And we're just, moving along as if everything is okay, but it's not.
Yeah.
But again, the other thing is, what happens is, if there is no communication inside the marriage, you find that there's almost going to be communication outside. So, which shouldn't be the case.
Yeah. I just want to talk a bit more about the style that we learn to communicate from our family of origin and how that almost always informs how you communicate in your marriage. And yes, they do talk about communication in premarital classes and all that because it's a big thing. So it is a topic that's talked about, but I don't think it's been unpacked in a way that people become aware of the dysfunctional ways that they may or may not have been taught how to communicate in their homes, right, and the potential of bringing that to the table of marriage. Because like he said, when we first got married, I found it very hard to speak about things that I don't like because I grew up in a home that was very much centered on kids don't speak back to their parents. You don't really have room to speak in the home about what you don't like or what you're uncomfortable with. So I didn't grow up building that muscle.
Yeah.
And so the first few years of our marriage were I was dying inside, for lack of a better word, because there were some things that I would not like, but then I didn't know how to communicate them. And then the times that I would try to communicate them, I would do them in unhealthy ways. So it was trial and error, very much trial and error. And then things would build because you're not talking about them.
Yeah.
And then you'd have this big blowout where now, we're fighting comes in. And as much as he's a peacemaker, you're also a passionate person. So when you have an opinion,
you want your voice to be heard.
No, this is what I think. And I'm also a passionate person. So now it comes two heated people that haven't really had good practice on how to speak with the goal of not winning the argument, but the goal of the marriage winning.
Yeah.
How am I communicating this so that our marriage is better, our relationship is better, as opposed to how am I communicating this so that I win the argument and he admits that he was wrong and I was right.
Yeah, I guess realizing that many times we've had there's been communication or we're talking and stuff and then it's heated. Whenever I retreat to my corner, I always think one lesson that I learned, and that was that we're on the same team.
Yeah.
So it's always a kind of thought process of, look, we're on the same team. It's a kind of thing where you're thinking there's nowhere else I'm going to go. I'm stuck with this person for lack of a better word. I might as well I signed up for this, so I might as well just make it work.
Yeah.
And figure out what is wrong here so that there's adjustments made. Yeah. So I don't know what else we.
What would you say in the 12 years? What would you say jumps out at you as a communication mistake that you would do that you've learned not to do anymore?
Oh yeah, that's easy. That's easy. I think communicating something. So you're communicating in a way that you want to show the other person how much they hurt you or something like that. So it's not really that you just want to say, look, it's not coming from a heart where you just want to say, look, this is the issue, and I feel like this is what happened and blah blah blah. But you're kind of like, I need to show them that they are wrong or whatever, and that it never works. It never works, because healthy communication is about, okay, we're on the same team, and we are I want to let you know that, you know, when you said that, it made me feel this way because of ABCD. And I just want to let you know that. So it's not that I'm telling you this to show you that, you know, I want to get, you're wrong and I am right.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do this, you know, that kind of corner. Yeah.
I would say many mistakes, but the biggest one that I still struggle with even today is learning to understand that my partner might not be in a place where he can come to the table and communicate in a healthy manner because he's still too hot, or he's still too hurt or angry about the situation, and I want to deal with it now. Like, let's talk about it now so that we can move on. And my friend is like, don't come next to me because I might punch you in the face, and I really don't want to punch you in the face. But trying to force you, like, to let's deal with this now. And that's a combination of two things. One, obviously, is wanting to control the situation, but also I think I would find myself falling into that because there wouldn't be a time like, okay, if we can't talk about this now, then when are we going to talk about it? There wouldn't be like okay, can we talk about this tomorrow? Can we sleep on it and talk? It would always be, I would feel like if we don't address this now, it would just be one of those things that's swept under the rug, and then tomorrow he'll wake up and act like everything's fine. So still learning that one.
No, I hear you. And just to say, like, on the flip side, as much as that on your side, that happens a lot where you want to get this talked about now, we want to do this, but I guess also on my side, it's a question of, if I said to you, so like, hey, I really can't talk about this right now. Can we talk about this later? I think it also, what goes through your mind is there isn't a track record of when you can point consistently where we said, okay, we agreed, let's do this, then I bring it up. Because most of the times maybe we'll go and it's not coming up. Like, I've thought about it and I'm okay, and you're feeling, hey, what happened? So I guess with the guys also, it's making sure that when that happens, it's brought back up again to say, hey, that conversation, I think this is a good time to do this. And I think also the obviously there is that rule that don't talk about things when it's heated. But I guess it's also knowing taking time when everything is fine, because sometimes and I hope we exercise this a lot in the years to come, where we're just having fun and talking about other things, and they say, hey, there's this thing, blah blah blah. You bring up something like it's casual. It's not in the moment. It's whatever. What do you think about that? Where you can talk about things like that. Because I feel like we wait first. You just put it under there, and then put it under there, and then boom. You know what I mean? Like, why can't we just talk about it when we're fine, we're smiling, and we're like, hey, there's, I think if we can utilize those moments as well when everything is fine, it makes the conversation a whole lot easier, even to receive correction and stuff. And communication is a big thing.
Yeah.
And like I said, if there's no communication, there's no adjustment.
Yeah.
And if there's no adjustment, then there is hurt, there is just resentment and all these other things. And like the book says, things fall apart.
Yeah.
But I think they are most of the things that we have argued about. Like, I'm going to give an example, and this is typically what happens. Like, I can't even remember what it was that we were arguing about, but this is the only point where I remember when we had like a really heated argument. And I just remember we were driving. I don't even know where we were going, what we were arguing about, but I just remember my friend over here in the middle of the road as I was driving just put the car in park, and it went boom.
Oh Lord.
I don't remember what we were, but I don't know. I think I said something. But typically that's what happens.
Okay, hold on.
Do you remember?
Yes,
Do you remember what it was?
I remember where we were going. We were coming home. Don't really remember what exactly we were arguing about, but I remember feeling like I did not want to be breathing the same air as you in that moment. I just need to get out of here.
You just
because
we're on a plane.
No, but I told you
gone.
several times to stop the car, and you weren't stopping the car.
In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, like I literally just wanted to just be out of your presence.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Next topic.
Okay. So now, when you're in that situation,
Uh-huh.
it's accelerating. How can we bring it down? How can we?
If we have heated conversations, at least I can know that this is not going anywhere, and I can know that I've reached a point where I want to push back. Okay? And then I know that whenever I reach a point where I want to push back, because of your personality, I already know that we are going to get double pushback, and it's going to be a fight. So
Just to
yeah.
put it out there, we've never gotten to a point where we actually want to lay hands on each other.
No.
happened.
Just prayer, but just a bit of some tongues here and there, just to pray for each other. But but I mean, conversations get heated, but never to a point where that happens. And my dad always used to tell me that, he used to ask me a question, say, have you ever seen me lay hands on your mom? And I'll say no. And he says, yeah, none of my children, I don't expect any of my children to do that.
Yeah.
Because that's I never saw that. I never saw that. So that is not a part of me, and it should never be a part of any man or woman, any person. I think we need to be civil and just talk, raise our voices, calm down, come back. I think the thing is coming back.
Yeah.
How do you come back? So it's heated.
It's coming back, but then before the coming back, it's how do you press pause? I think that's
Yes.
important. The
How
how
do
you
you-
choose to press
How do
pause.
you need, let's just say in this context, you need to press pause.
Yes.
I think we can safely say that. You
Yeah.
need to press pause. And if the pause is you just run off like a crazy person because you know things are going to get bad, that's your pause. But again, like we said, come back. Come back after some time to say, look, I think we need to talk about this in a more sane manner.
Yeah, but to your point, I think the way we choose to press pause, especially from the female perspective, like if you let me know that where I am right now and where this conversation is going is not going to be good, so we need to put a pin in this and then come back to it later. It helps me know that you're not just walking off or leaving the conversation because you don't think it's important.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Yeah, let's talk about trust. I know they say, trust is everything in a relationship
Yeah.
and all of that stuff, but yeah, let's talk about trust. Why do you think it's important? Why has it been important for us? What have we done to lay a foundation of trust in our
Yeah.
relationship, like practical things,
Yeah.
and any mistakes? So usually when people think or hear the word trust, especially as it pertains to relationships, there's the obvious thing of, okay, trust as in I trust you not to be unfaithful. Trust as in fidelity to the relationship. I trust you not to be unfaithful to me. I trust you to have eyes only for me. And yes, that's a big part of it, but I also think there's a lot of elements of trust in a relationship that certain people don't think about, or they don't associate those things as being violations of trust. Yeah,
And
so
those
like
would be?
for me, trusting you with, yes, my body, because fidelity there, but also trusting you with my emotions, trusting you with my vulnerabilities and my weaknesses. Because when you're married to somebody, like, you see the worst part of them that
Yeah.
maybe other people don't see. So trusting that person with that side of you, knowing that they won't use that stuff against you. Like, they see the worst parts of you, they see your weaknesses, they see your faults, but they're not going to use those as a weapon against you. So trusting them in that way with your weaknesses and your vulnerabilities, trusting them with your money, trusting them with your dreams and your goals, because now it's our dream.
Yep.
And yes, I have things personally that I want to achieve and that I want to see come to pass in my life, and I have to trust that when I put them on the table, that you are going to value them enough to actually say, okay, let's get this done, let's see this come to pass. Value of trusting somebody also with your relationships, like your family relationships, your friend relationships, trusting that they will value what, say, your relationship with your family members, certain family members that are close to you, or certain friendships that are close to you, that person can be trusted to value those things in your life.
Yeah.
I think those are, like, off the top of my head, those are like some things that, to me, when I think of trust, I'm also thinking of those things. I'm not just thinking, I trust Caesar not to have an affair, but I trust Caesar, with our finances. I trust Caesar with our goals as a family. I trust Caesar with my weaknesses. I trust Caesar with my faults and my flaws. Like, I know that even when he sees this about me, he's not going to use that against me. I trust Caesar with the relationships that I hold dear, like that he will hold me accountable to continuing to keep those relationships flourishing and not make me have to choose between that family member or that friend and him. Yeah. So when it comes to trust, like with money, I know these days it's a big thing
Mola.
because, yes, the bag. It's a big thing because I think we're in an era where women are doing a lot out there and making their own money, bringing a lot to the table financially. And there's this whole notion of, okay, our money, like what he makes is our money, then what I make is my money. Yeah. That coupled with, okay, the man is the provider and all those layers.
Yeah.
Yes. So for us, I would say that's also been an area of growth over the 12 years that we've been married. Not so much because it's been your money, my money, but okay, when we decide to then put our money together and commit to trusting each other in that area, there hasn't always been trustworthy activities. Yes. Yeah. So like early on in our marriage, I did a lot of handling the finances because I felt like I couldn't trust you with our finances because somebody would make significant purchases without communicating.
Just living a vida loca.
Yes. Literally. Literally. Yeah, but then over the years, obviously through conversations, arguments, all of that, and growth, we've reached a point where now you handle the finances. And I trust you.
You're the one now making significant purchases.
That is not true. That is not true. That is
Somehow it is.
No, it's not, babe.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean I was always told that that I was spoiled when it comes to money, because, and I would hear this a lot, because my dad would always, he would give me lunch money and stuff like that for school. We reached a point where I would go to him and say, hey, I need I need some money for lunch money, and then he would just say, oh, go and get. That was a point of contention with my siblings. And they would say, you're spoiling him. And yeah, I mean, I was young, so sometimes when I went, so he would tell me go and get, so I knew where he would put the money. So I'd go and pick, and I would pick the lesser amounts, obviously, because I know, but somehow he said that's what, in a flip sense, he said, no, that's why you are good with money. He used to think I was good with money. But yeah, so growing up, coming into the marriage like that, you just want to spend, and that's what I did. But obviously with growth and everything, and communication, adjustments had to be made, and now obviously it's a point where you're not living by the day. You're looking at tomorrow, you're looking at 10 years from now, you're looking at the kids and all these things, so you can't afford to be responsible. But yeah, I'm happy that you trust that I won't go and gamble and go on baller bet, do some crazy stuff. But I think also it's just been open. I mean, even when I was not handling the finances and I was doing the things that I was doing, it was out in the open. It's not like I was hiding. So maybe I'd buy this kind of thing. "Oh, but how did you? You know what
Where
I mean?
did that come
Where
from,
did that come
Caesar?
from? So I think because we're already open with each other and stuff is known, then there is communication which can happen and adjustment can happen.
Yeah.
Now imagine if I was hiding. Then you come and find out 10 years later that I owed people money.
Yeah, wow.
It's another story, but I think there needs to be also openness for trust to flourish and grow and all those things.
So it's openness in all the areas that we've mentioned. Openness with, things like passwords, things like that make people feel insecure even when there isn't anything to feel insecure about, because why don't you want me to have a password to your phone?
Yeah.
Now I start making up stories in my head, and that's just not helpful.
Yeah.
And being honest with, like you're saying, transparent with the money that's coming in, because we're a team. Being transparent with weaknesses and, okay, this is something that I experienced growing up, and maybe this is why I behave like this, because this is an area that didn't grow. I didn't get to exercise my muscles in this area, and trusting that person will help see you grow, as opposed to using that against you every single time. Trusting each other with external relationships, and making them part of the team, so to say. So if I have close relationships with family, siblings, my friends, not keeping them like, oh, this is my friend, but allowing you also to participate in those relationships, so that you don't feel like you're an outsider.
Like when we talk about trusting each other and the dreams that we have and stuff like that. So if you had this big dream, the dream that, I want to write a book, for example, and your partner just doesn't like reading.
Yes.
So I think there'll be things like that where you see how do you support this person and with what they want to do. So it's because there are going to be some dreams which will just line up. So you both think you have entrepreneurial minds, and if there's we want to start this, you're like, yeah, we can do this, let's do that, because your minds are similar.
Yeah.
But then there are going to be other dreams where like the reading, for example, and I don't know how to write, and stuff like that.
Caesar doesn't read my blog.
But until you make it into an audio thing, maybe we'll listen to it. But but the thing is, how am I going to support you? I'm going to support you with the other things that I can do. I can give you ideas. Okay, do you need to put this out there? Oh, okay, let's just do a website. Oh, that's something I can do. When you do these posts and whatever you're gonna do, oh, did you know you can schedule your posts? Let me get you this app. Let's do that. Whatever. But so there's various ways in which you can just help each other. And so that even when I'm sharing something with you, I trust that Louise is gonna help me. I have confidence that you're gonna back me up and you're gonna help me achieve this. Yeah.
When I think about that kind of trust, I think a lot of couples out there don't have so much of a struggle with the female backing the male, the woman backing the man's dreams, like supporting his vision, supporting his dreams, incubating his dreams, because it's almost like the dynamic of marriage is set up that way. We are your helper, so help you achieve your goals, achieve your dreams, or help you accomplish stuff that you have vision for the family and things like that. But then when it's the flip side, that's when it gets tricky. Because it's like it's not really tailored to that. It's not really tailored to, oh, I'm the wife and this is a dream that I have. This is this big vision that I have, and the husband then comes and supports that and runs with that. Most of the time you find there's some struggle in that area. So like as a man, what would you say are some things that need to be put in place for a man to feel like they can be trusted with their wife's dreams, or can be trusted in that area to run with those things? Or what would be like the challenge?
That's a good observation. And there needs to be a good foundation laid. They are duties, they are roles. Okay? But if I sat here and told you that I have seen the lines clearly over the 12 years, I'll be lying. Why? Because as as much as I know what my responsibility is, I can't. I mean, you're the one who should tell me. I can't remember a time where I drew the line for you. No, this is the line. I am the provider, or I am the whatever. I can't remember. And so for me, the foundation has always been, we're in this together.
Yeah.
So even when you say, a man needs to provide, and obviously we rush to the money thing, but there's so many other provisions that are needed to be made. From the word go, we have always done stuff together. Yeah, there will be decisions that and somebody asked me a question, and I don't want to sound like I don't want to sound fake, okay? I don't want to sound fake.
Okay.
But somebody asked me a question, and I literally just told them, like, look, I know that that's a struggle, but I don't know how to respond to your question, because I've never struggled with that. So I have never struggled. I have never had to say, no, this is what we're gonna do, this is what we're gonna do because I'm the man. This is a decision. I can't remember anything where we disagreed and we were like, oh, I'm the man, I make the final decision. I can't remember. I'll be lying, but I can't remember. I don't know if you can. So in this sense, I think for us, what has worked so much is that from the word go, we do stuff together.
Yeah.
Like we do stuff together to a fault. So I don't have any reason not to trust you or think, look, if we do this, Louise, it's like we even when we're thinking, it's like we're thinking together. You know, I might have a thought, but immediately it comes to the table. Hey, this is what I was thinking. Yeah, we can do. You know, it's now a thing. We're doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of the decisions that we make, they happen like that. They happen like that. Or it's a thought, but the moment it's a thought, it's on the table. We're talking about it. We're doing it. So everything is done together.
Yeah.
So yes.
But that takes trust. That's the same trust that we're talking about, that people don't have, or they don't cultivate, or maybe they have trust in their relationship, but they don't know that it can be filtered even to all these other areas.
Yeah.
Because for me to bring my idea to the table, that takes vulnerability.
Yeah.
Because what if I bring my idea and then you bash my idea?
That's why I'm saying that the foundation has to be, it's from the onset.
Yeah.
What have you, and you can make adjustments later, but how did you start this thing? If you started this thing, oh, I'm over here, she's over there, I get my money, it's in my pocket, she gets her money, you know, I talk about I have my people, she has her people.
Yeah.
If that's the way you started this thing, then that's what you've created. So you're going to struggle over time with so many things. So it's going back to the inception.
Yeah.
How did you start this thing? Did you start it with, oh, that's my phone, I have my phone, you have your phone, you look at your phone, I have my password, I have got, you know, is that the way you started it? Then that's how it's gonna progress. It's you and me. You got stuff that you're doing, I got stuff that I'm doing. But that's kind of like, then why did you get married? If you just want to be by yourself and do stuff alone, then just be by yourself and do stuff alone. So yeah, so the lines of no, the rows and whatever, I mean, when you start the right way, I think you just flow into them.
Yeah, because we're not saying that the lines and the roles don't exist in a marriage. They're there. I think those are ordered by God, but they are supposed to just flow. Yeah, they're supposed to just flow and not always be this thing that you hold over your friend's head to remind them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also another thing I would say is actually knowing the person and knowing now as a guy, knowing what they're good at, that you're confident in who you are.
Yeah.
And you know what you bring to the table. And you know what the other person brings to the table. And when you add those two things, it's one big thing.
Yeah.
So I don't have to struggle. You know, when I want something something set up, organized nicely, I know Louise got this. You know, I don't have to struggle about that. So
I don't know what phone I own. Like, I literally do not know what phone I own. I could care less what phone I own because he buys all the gadgets because that's his thing. And I just receive the phone. Oh, I bought you a new phone. Okay, he does all the change.
So we're gonna talk about respect.
Put some respect on my name.
RESPECT. Yeah, you gotta respect the man.
Yes, let's talk about
You
that.
gotta
Okay.
respect the man.
Yes, we know. Okay, yes, we know that men want to be respected and women want to be loved.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that men don't need love and that women don't need respect. It's just not maybe the primary need. And back to
So yeah, how has that worked?
how has that worked in our relationship?
Yeah.
I would say that I've grown to respect you, especially in communication. Back to communication. I think that would be like the biggest area that I would say I've had to grow and mature in learning how to communicate with you respectfully and with honor. Because for most of my life, I didn't have a dad, so I did not see that dynamic. I didn't have to see how a woman or a wife communicates to her husband. That just wasn't there. And then later in my early teens, I did have my stepdad, but then it's like, yeah, that picture was just not really there. So now let's go into real life. I have a husband, and yeah, I respect you. Not that I've ever struggled with not respecting you. I respect you, but then how do I demonstrate that respect in a way that translates to respect to you? Because I can say until I'm blue in the face that I respect you, but if I'm not showing it in a way that you receive respect and that you want to receive respect, then it doesn't. Yeah.
I was gonna say that because there've been times when you said, "Hey, I'm so sorry. I spoke to you disrespectfully," and I'm like, "When?"
Yes, there have been many times.
Yeah, because
but
it just
still,
didn't
like,
register.
Yes, it might not have registered to you, but the fact that to me,
Yeah, so
it was.
I'm talking about your point about you know knowing that this is how I receive respect. This is how I feel respected.
Yeah.
Things like that. And I don't think I've ever communicated that to you, really. Yeah. Because
No, you have communicated when it comes to how I speak sometimes.
oh,
That would be like the only thing I've ever heard you be.
but I have said that I feel disrespected. Okay. All right.
But how do you receive respect 12 years later and I don't know this?
But the kind of respect I need is a woman that will just,
What? What am I supposed to be doing that I haven't been doing? How do you receive respect?
So how do I receive respect? I think so in my home, you talked about your home. So in my home, what I understood to be respect was my dad had his own time where he was given food, special food. Sometimes I would eat with him, but there was always something special. This is for your dad, things like that. My mom never did all those really cultural things where she had to kneel and come and say, oh no, food is ready. I never saw that because my mom just never did that. So she would put food on the table and then say, oh, go and call your dad. And she'd tell me, she wouldn't even go and call your dad. So I think for me, it's not the physical things. It's not in the physical sense.
By physical, you mean the
physical, I mean, yes, oh no, Caesar, no, my husband, I'm like, that does nothing. Oh no, I've done this, I feel respected. I think it's just in the relationship. It's in the relationship and how we relate to each other. That's how, I guess that's how I don't know, I feel respected. If I say something, it's not overlooked or something like that. I feel heard. I guess that's what would, if I'm thinking about it, because some of these things you don't really think about it.
But you have said that to me before. Now that I think back, like, not in the sense of, hey, this is how I feel respected, but it's been like something that would recur, where if I have a problem, or it could be any problem, maybe work or anything, and I come to you and you offer me a solution, but then I argue with your solution, I don't take your solution, yet I came to you to ask for help with the problem. You don't like that. And you've shared that, and I've tried to adjust. So what do you think, especially in the culture that we're in now, again, back to women are out there doing things, equal rights, all that stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think a woman's needs for respect are? Like, if a woman says, I want to feel respected, what comes to your mind when you hear that?
I think it's just being included and heard, part of the they're on the table. And again, it goes back to inception.
Yeah.
How are we doing this thing?
Yeah.
We're in this together. We're gonna respect each other. And yes, the roles are going to flow. And you won't even have to force them. But yeah, it's how are we doing this? and then just because I know we're gonna have other conversations about this, but it's stuff like, you know, I took my wife to school. You took who to school? You know, it's situations like that. How do you take somebody to school with their own money? I took you to school with your own money, because we are on the table. The money is on the table. We are deciding what we're doing with the money.
Yeah.
So how am I taking you to school? So there's statement like that which make me wonder, like, you know, what's the inception? How are you doing this thing?
Yeah.
No, I do this, you do that. Yeah, so I think if we really analyze how we're doing this thing, then certain questions down the line won't come up. They won't come up because there's no reason for you to come and say, no, I don't feel included. I don't feel, you know. There's sometimes when, even with this money thing, like I feel guilty sometimes because you've trusted so much that, you know, that's why sometimes I try to say, hey,
Working on the budget.
I just need us to have a little meeting here to,
Yeah.
and also not because I obviously I want you to know what's going on, and not because I don't feel like I can do this by myself, but you need to know exactly what's going on, because God forbid if something happened to me tomorrow, you need to know where everything is.
Yeah.
You know, so we
But
carry
also
ourselves
you
along.
ask
Yeah.
To the respect point, I feel like you ask me or you say stuff like that because you value my contribution.
Yeah.
You value if I have a question about our finances, or if I'm not in agreement with something concerning what you've planned for our finances. Like, you respect me enough to value my input.
Yeah. There isn't anything that anything big that we have ever done that I did by myself. Like, that just has never happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the trust and the value and the respect, and just again knowing the strengths. Yeah, even when I'm coming to you and say, hey, I'm thinking we need to do, even if it's a technical thing, like I would still tell you.
Yeah, and then I'm
And
like,
then you're
okay,
like,
I have no
okay.
idea what you're saying, but okay.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. No,
Okay.
I need to buy another Mac because this one doesn't. You have no idea, but you know, it's something that we're on the table. We're talking about this, so let's do it together.
Okay, as we wrap up, since this is our last point for today, what are some practical ways couples can respect each other? Like, just day-to-day practical ways, and I'll give you some examples to just get you thinking in those lines. But for me, one of the biggest ways that I have purposed to honor you and respect you, especially outside of just us, is watching how I speak to you in front of the kids. Because I know that's like, I'm demonstrating to them how they should honor you. I make sure the kids, you know, in their own way, and right now it's with a lot of help, but hopefully as they get older it will be more independent. But like, honoring you on Father's Day, on your birthday, like, that's an opportunity for them to take a moment and recognize you and your position in their life as their dad. Another big way that I think a lot of people might not think about is talking about your husband and your sexual experiences with your husband to your friends. Because people do that.
People do that?
Yeah. People do that.
Oh.
And yeah, I have just committed to never do that.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
what friends do you have?
I have friends who
Me
do
and my
know.
friends don't talk about that. We just keep it on the Bible.
No, but even guys do talk. Guys will say, no, this person,
No.
does she have beads? Does she what? They talk.
No.
They talk.
Yeah.
But though I find those lines of communication to be disrespectful, to be honest. So I
Yeah.
personally do not engage in such conversations about you.
Oh, that's good to know. I didn't know I even had to think about that. Because I'd never talk about that. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's the same things for me that you're talking about. And this is something that I had to learn from you when you talk about the whole Mother's Day thing, do something, whatever. The Father's Day thing. So we kind of just do that. Yeah, I think also showing respect and honoring your wife is, like you're saying, not going out there and just talking. I think that's one of the biggest don'ts in a marriage. Yeah, I think not only is it not healthy, but we are in this for the long haul, and what we differ on today, tomorrow we make up and we're smiling. The other people don't have the same privilege of, they'll still carry that. So one of the other things that I learned, and that I never did, was and I think my dad had an issue with this, and I think he struggled to figure out why, because all my siblings would go to my dad if they had a problem with their wives, my older siblings. And my dad would always say, oh yeah, I had a problem, he came to me. No. I never once went to my dad, because I learned when we started this, that's the biggest lesson I learned. When you have a problem, do not go to your dad. If you can't figure it out, find somebody who you trust, who's not your father or your mother, and go sort it out, because you're an adult now. Don't run to your parents. So I never did that, and I think my dad.
But is that something that you were actually told?
Yeah. That's something that I actually learned.
Like, to be honest, I don't remember being told that, but it's something that I've done.
Oh.
But I don't know, like if I had to say, oh yeah, this person told me that, I wouldn't be able to remember, but it's something that I've also done. Yeah.
No, I clearly remember my pastors. That's where I learned that from. So I never did that.
Maybe I was also in that session, but
you just forgot. So I never did that. So yeah, that's one big way that you bring on. Yeah, you're an adult now, and you've left the parents.
Yeah.
So don't go running back to mommy and daddy when you have a problem.
Okay. Any other thoughts? Final thoughts about anything that we've talked about?
Yeah, just keeping it here. No, but seriously, it's just the beginning. The beginning really sets you up for whether you're going to succeed or not. And I believe personally, I just believe that there is a right way of doing something, and you can decide to do it in another way, but you will never get the full
benefit.
Yes, out of it. So it's like if you're gonna say no for me, she's there, I'm here, and this is what works for us, you're lying.
You do you, I'll do me.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna work. So I guess it's just really looking at how did we start this, and if you need to make the adjustments, it's not too late.
Yeah.
You can make the adjustment. How did we start this? Are we on the same table? Are we making decisions together? Are we encouraging each other with the dreams that we have? Are we being vulnerable on the table to talk about stuff and communicate and bring out issues that we're not happy with? Can we do that? Have we created this safe environment? So it's all those things. And if you're not there, make the adjustment. If you're there, praise the Lord. Keep moving forward. But I know that the past 12 years, I'm happy that that's the way we started. From the word go,
Yeah.
it was, we're doing this together, and we have not had to struggle. Thankfully, we've not had to struggle with not doing stuff together.
Yeah.
We have had to struggle of how not to do.
Everything together.
Yes.
Get a life,
Which-
Caesar.
Yeah. Which you hear about in the coming episodes. Yeah. So I'm excited to share this part of our life, and just hoping that people will get encouraged.
Yeah.
And marriage is a good thing, and if you're gonna do it right.
Yeah. All right, famous warriors. We hope that this conversation has encouraged you, inspired you. If you're married, if you're looking forward to marriage, but yeah, we're not coming here as experts. We're just sharing with you what we've learned, mistakes we've made along the way, and our thoughts, and we hope that you find this helpful. Remember that even in your marriages, the chance to fight is a privilege, and you are worth the fight.